The Magic 4 Pro is the latest flagship device from Honor, and it is a beast. Starting from €1,200, this device is packed full of the latest hardware features in nearly every category. This phone offers not just standard specs and features, but actual real first to market tech. There's a new special screen dimming feature for eye strain, both 3D face unlock and an ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, as well as the fastest wireless charging in the world. And that's just the beginning. There is still loads of other cool tech packed in, which we will definitely get into, including those cameras. And it's kind of easy to dismiss this as just another Chinese phone, but Honor's story has been changing over the last couple of years, going from budget-friendly phones to now a more premium lineup. For sure, still borrowing a few design cues from Huawei, but that's to be expected not so long after a breakup. The design does have a premium air about it. The back panel on my model is made from vegan leather and feels nice to hold, but also safe, like this won't be slipping out of my hands. We'll see how good this texture holds up over time, but for now it's looking pretty fresh. The camera cutout I think is starting to look a little dated now. It has been like this for a number of years, and I wouldn't be surprised to see an update in the next phase of Honor phones. What is looking good, and one of this phone's biggest strengths, is the 6.8-inch display, which sits just below Quad HD. Is an OLED panel, gets plenty bright, has a very nice screen to body ratio, and looks sharp as hell. But there are some new features that make this a little different. One is the 120Hz LTPO panel, which can ramp the display down to just 1 Hz instead of 10 or 60, combined with new PWM dimming hardware, which turns the display's flicker rate up to 1920 Hz for better eye strain control and comfort, whereas the iPhone has a flicker rate of 480 Hz. There is also a dedicated display chip that can convert standard videos and images into HDR images as you're viewing them, as well as scale up low frame rate videos to a higher frame rate, making playback smoother all in real time, which is pretty cool. There is also a double camera cutout that features not one but 2 cameras. One is a 12 megapixel ultra-wide selfie shooter that is capable of 4K 60 FPS shooting, which is awesome, and the other is a 3D face scanner, so actual real security here rather than the basic 2D scanners we see from other high-end Androids, which is awesome. And talking of security, there is an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor under the display. No optical under display sensor here, you're getting the best there is, and it works flawlessly. And as well as all the awesome display tech, you get all your standard 2022 flagship specs thrown in there too, although there is no super high-end RAM option in some countries. You get 8GB instead of 10 or 12, but honestly 8GB is absolutely plenty for heavy usage. Then we get to the cameras, which I think are punching up in their capabilities and quality. This phone takes very visually pleasing photos. They are bright and punchy with a nice HDR quality to them. They look incredibly clear and detailed. The main shooter is a 50 megapixel wide, and I think it's that extra pixel count that gives it an edge over the iPhone 13 Pro. Both take similar images, but if we look a little closer, you can see the images are way richer in detail on the Magic 4 Pro compared to the iPhone that just seems to drop off the further we punch in. And it's the same story with the zoom lens. The Magic 4 Pro's default zoom setting is 3.5 times and is a very capable shooter, and having that ability to punch in a little further than the iPhone that is stuck on 3 times just gives it a more professional photographer-like feeling. And again, if we punch in, you will see that the amount of detail the Magic 4 Pro can pick up compared to the iPhone, which is struggling to keep up in the finer areas. The ultra-wide can pick up up more detail than the iPhone and goes for a more contrasty look, crushing the blacks to produce a more punchy image, although I did notice the sky was always grayed out on the Magic 4 Pro when in reality it was blue. And one thing the iPhone for sure does slightly better is in the macro department. But overall, I think the Magic 4 Pro wins the camera test here. In lower light, the Magic 4 Pro again puts in a solid performance, with the phones trading blows and opting for slightly different color tones. Both take a maximum exposure time of around 3 seconds, and honestly it's quite hard to pick which is the best out of these two. Sometimes the iPhone is clearly picking up more detail, and then the Magic 4 kills it with a perfect shot. I think if you really want to look at the differences between the two, I would say that the iPhone is a little bit more consistent and tends to go for a more natural look, whilst the Magic 4 Pro does light up everything much more aggressively, which can look much more appealing depending on the situation. Video is capped at 4K 60 FPS, there is no 8K shooting, but I really don't think it matters at this time. 4K is plenty and the quality of the footage is good, but the stabilization and the way it handles panning and movements is pretty jolty and doesn't really give the smooth experience that you would expect for a phone at this price point. This is what the selfie video looks like on the Honor Magic 4 Pro, and amazingly we have a top-end Android phone this year that can shoot 4K selfie video. All of the other phones that I've tested mostly this year are capped at 1080p for some reason, even though they're top spec, but this, full 4K. The selfie shooter on the Magic 4 Pro is excellent. Having an ultra wide just gives you a lot more options, and the quality is nice to match too. Battery life has been okay. It's not the biggest battery in the world at 4600 milliamps, but the convenience of charging really makes up for that. The Magic 4 Pro is capable of 100 watts fast wireless charging, making the Honor 4 Magic Pro the fastest wireless charging phone in the world. In my testing, it went from 0 to 100% in 38 minutes, which is incredible and faster than most wired chargers out there, and I've seen people posting videos of this going even faster than that. There is also a 100 watt wired charging system that will take you to 100% in just 30 minutes, so whatever the situation you're in, you're not going to be waiting for long. There are also some extra goodies around the phone, including IP68 dust and water resistance, a dual SIM card tray. We also have dual speakers on the top and bottom, as well as an infrared scanner, which I really wish more phones would feature. Running the Magic 4 Pro is Magic UI 6 on top of Android 12, and we are finally seeing some visual changes to Honor's operating system after it not really changing over the last few years. They have added these larger sized folders to the home screen, which you can customize to the shape and size that you want, and they are fully interactive. You can click on any app without having to open the folder first, which is a really nice way to organize and fit more apps onto the screen without it looking all cramped and messy. There are also new widgets that again can add something extra to your home screen, although I would still like more interactive controls and customizations for them. You can, however, still customize your home screen in other ways with the always on display, magazine lock, icons and app drawers, and in general the system feels fast and fluid. Overall, I would say that the Honor Magic 4 Pro is a surprising contender for one of the better flagship phones to come out this year. It has a ton of top-end hardware and new technology, high-end cameras that can compete with the best, as well as a new look in the software department. So if you like the way Honor does things and you're looking for a new top-tier flagship phone in 2022, you really must consider the Honor Magic 4 Pro. And if you would like to consider other phones in the future, I'll always be posting videos, so please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That would really help me out, and don't forget to smash that like button to push this video further into the YouTube algorithm. That would for sure help me out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.